The Hong Kong government will ban aquatic products from 9 Japanese prefectures and Tokyo metropolis starting at midnight this evening. Mimo Sangai with more.
The SAR government will launch its countermeasures to ban the import of Japanese aquatic products from 10 regions in Japan on Thursday. The first safety order was gazetted today. Under the order, all aquatic imports, including live and frozen food items from 9 Japanese prefectures and Tokyo metropolis, will be banned from tomorrow onwards. Imports that arrive in Hong Kong before midnight this evening will not be affected. Speaking at a press conference today, the government explained the rationale behind the ban, adding the order will remain in place for some time.
We have to look at first the fish we eat, how much we eat, and what is the radiation level of the fish. Now, in Hong Kong, when we do testing, we adopt the Codex standards. For instance, cesium for 1 kilogram is 1,000 micrograms. So if a food product fails to test, that means it doesn't meet the Codex standard. And fish, of course, is some special food, in sashimi in particular. We've always been advising the public not to consume too much of it because there are other risks as well.
When government will consider varying the food safety order, amending the safety order, I think it's now too early to say. We'll keep under review a basket of factors, including how the operation of the nuclear contaminated water treatment system is going. On the part of Hong Kong, because the Center for Food Safety is collecting aquatic product samples every day, doing testing. So we'll have our own database.
While the order does not prohibit individuals from bringing back small quantities of aquatic products from banned prefectures and metropolis after visiting the affected locations, Secretary for Environment and Ecology Jie Xinwan advised the public not to do so due to potential health risks. This man, who just returned from Japan, said he did not buy any seafood products. You can eat different delicacies in Hong Kong. Why do you have to buy them from Japan? He said. For Japanese seafood suppliers, however, concerns remain. This man anticipates a notable drop in business with the implementation of the government's countermeasures. The worst-case scenario is that we avoid all Japanese goods and use European or Southeast Asian products instead, he said. The supplier hopes the authorities will provide support to the industry amid new challenges. Meanwhile, a fishermen's organization protested outside the building where the Japanese Consulate General is located. The group urged Japan to withdraw its plan to release wastewater from the Fukushima plant into the sea. Mimo Sanai, TVB News.
In Thailand, former real estate developer and leader of the Pheu Thai Party, Srettha Thavisin, has become the country's 30th prime minister after winning a vote in parliament late Tuesday. This after the Move Forward Party, which won the national election, was blocked from taking power by conservative senators. Meanwhile, former leader Thaksin was moved to hospital during his first night in jail, following his historic return from self-exile. Tracy Furness has more.
Thailand's former Prime Minister Thaksin was moved from prison to this police hospital overnight, officials said today. Following Shinawat's first night of an 8-year jail sentence for abuse of power and conflict of interest, there was concern about his heart and blood pressure. Thaksin was accompanied by 8 prison guards. Meanwhile, just as Parliament convened Tuesday to elect a new Prime Minister, Thaksin decided to return from 15 years of self-exile to face his jail sentence. Dramatic scenes ensued, with hundreds of supporters greeting the former leader at the airport, followed by the high security detail that escorted him to prison. He stole the spotlight from his political ally, Srettha Thavisin, the Prime Minister candidate from the Pheu Thai Party, which is backed by Thaksin. But late Tuesday evening, this was the moment Thavisin was proclaimed the country's 30th Prime Minister, stealing the spotlight back. He received 482 votes from the 727 lawmakers. He only needed 375 to win.
รู้สึกเป็นเกียรติอย่างยิ่ง
Today, I, Srettha Thavisin, feel deeply honoured to be elected as the 30th Prime Minister of Thailand. I want to thank all Thais, the coalition government, members of parliament and every senator who voted today. I will try to conduct my duties to the best of my abilities, alleviate fatigue and elevate the lives of all Thais, Thavisin said. Srettha now heads an 11-party coalition that includes 2 pro-military parties after 3 months of deadlock with Conservative lawmakers denying Move Forward Party, which won the popular vote from coming to power. The country has had a caretaker government since March. Srettha was, until recently, the head of one of Thailand's biggest real estate developers. The company he founded, Sansiri, posted more than $1 billion of revenue last year. He is a devoted fan of English soccer club Liverpool and peppers his social media accounts with pictures of dogs. Tracy Furness, TVB News.
BRICS nations leaders delivered their views on various issues at a business forum in Johannesburg on Tuesday. This comes with the main talks of the 15th BRICS summit getting underway today, with a possible expansion of the group set to be high on the agenda. Daniel Rao tells us more.
The business forum was attended by South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin did not attend, but sent representatives to the event. Commerce Minister Wang Wentao delivered remarks on behalf of President Xi. In his message, the president said changes in the world, in our times and in history are unfolding in ways like never before, bringing human society to a critical juncture. President Xi expressed China's willingness to deepen solidarity and cooperation with other emerging markets and developing countries to push for a more just and equitable world order. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa outlined how fellow BRICS members can help foster growth in Africa's economy.
These countries have an opportunity to contribute to and participate in Africa's growth story. This can be achieved through greater cooperation in areas such as infrastructure, agriculture, manufacturing, new energy, and the digital economy.
Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva called for the creation of a common trading currency for BRICS countries to counter US dollar hegemony. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin took multiple shots at the West in a pre-recorded speech. Putin is the subject of an international criminal court arrest warrant related to the conflict in Ukraine and did not travel to Johannesburg for the summit. He said a wartime deal to facilitate Ukrainian grain shipments would not resume until restrictions on Russian food and agricultural products are eased. The Russian president said the West's attempts to punish Moscow financially for sending troops into Ukraine are an illegitimate sanctions practice. The summit's main talks are getting underway today with a possible expansion of BRICS set to be high on the agenda. Daniel, TV News.
Speaking in Johannesburg, President Xi Jinping said China-South Africa ties have achieved significant development. Timothy Lee spoke with the Consul General of South Africa and Hong Kong about some new areas of cooperation between his country and the mainland, as well as Hong Kong.
President Xi Jinping has just announced a new era of bilateral ties between China and South Africa. In just the first 7 months of this year, bilateral trade stood at over 226 billion yuan. This year also marks the 13th anniversary of South Africa's entry into BRICS. In an exclusive interview with TVB News, the Consul General of South Africa, Mojalefa Magono, said South Africa is celebrating the Silver Jubilee of the Sino-South African relationship.
The relationship that we're having with China is quite strategic. We are celebrating 25 bilateral relations with China, which is good. And we are #1 in Africa, a trading partner with China.
During South Africa's apartheid era between 1948 and the early 1990s, the all-white government implemented racist policies segregating the country's different races. It wasn't until a new government under Nelson Mandela was formed that South Africa officially established ties with Beijing. Earlier, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa thanked China for its support during the struggle against apartheid. When asked about recent Western allegations of China's so-called neo-colonialism in the African continent, Magono rejected the claim.
There's no truth in that. When you look back, China was never being a country that colonized like any of the African countries. That's my belief. And secondly, I think as a country, you'd rather go for a person who develops infrastructure in your country, something which is tangible.
South Africa suffers from serious power shortage problems with frequent large-scale blackouts. The Consul General said he believes Beijing could help resolve the issue.
The Minister of Electricity, he came to China recently to get assistance to Chinese companies to come in and work hand in hand so that we can, solve, the problem that we're having back home.
On South Africa and Hong Kong, the Consul General said his country is looking into holding talks with SAR authorities on fostering healthcare industry ties.
We have the best medical schools in South Africa, of which some of the people here in Hong Kong, they've shown interest on coming and studying in South Africa.
Dumelang le amogetswe mo Afrika Borwa. That means welcome to South Africa in Tswana, one of the main languages in the country. The Consul General said he hopes the summit will bring about a closer energy and infrastructure cooperation between China and South Africa. Timothy Lee, TVB News.
Welcome back. The High Court granted the Department of Justice permission to file another appeal to ban protest song Glory to Hong Kong. The turnaround comes after the High Court's rejection last month of the government's bid to request an injunction to ban the protest song. In a written judgment, Judge Anthony Chan explained he was inclined to grant leave for the appeal due to the highest importance of national security, which is a new frontier. 2 men fell into the sea after a dispute over fishing in North Point on Sunday. A 61-year-old man died. The other man, who was 66 years old, appeared at Eastern Magistrates Court today to face a charge of murder. The defendant, surnamed Chan, arrived at the court building in a police car. On Sunday, 2 men were fishing at a pier in North Point before entering into an argument. They then fell into the sea and swam back to the pier. However, the argument continued and both fell into the sea again. This time, only Chan managed to swim back, while the 61-year-old man, surnamed Law, went missing. He was later found underwater and died in hospital. The case has been adjourned until November to give more time to police to collect evidence. A tram caught on fire at the Saiwan Ho depot early this morning. The blaze affected the nearby Eastern recycling station. The fire services department said arson was suspected. The tram sustained serious damage due to the flames. Glass shards from its broken windows were spread across the floor. The heat caused a nearby rubbish bin to partially melt. Authorities received reports around 3 in the morning at Oishun Road of a fire at the Eastern recycling station. Firefighters arrived at the site to put out the blaze and no injuries were reported. The discovery of the Sanxindui ruins in Sichuan province has offered a glimpse into the culture and craftsmanship of the ancient Shu kingdom dating back some 3,000 years ago. 120 bronze artifacts excavated from the site will be on display at the Hong Kong Palace Museum starting on the 27th of next month. Jackie Lin reports.
This 70-centimeter tall bronze mask with this signature pair of protruding almond-shaped eyes embodies the enigma and surreal charm of Sanxindui artifacts. Unearthed in 2021, it is the largest and most well-preserved Sanxindui mask in the world. The archaeological find is believed to be an item for worship in the temple back in the Bronze Age kingdom of Shu. While many Sanxingdui artifacts are found to be alien-looking, this sculpture of a kneeling man excavated also in 2021 sees more human resemblance. It's also the first relic from the Sanxingdui ruins bearing patterns of feathers and swallow tails, which are said to reflect ancient Shu people's reverence towards birds. Ran Hongling, deputy director of the Sanxingdui Museum in Sichuan, noted it's a rare find that realistically depicts human beings among Sanxingdui bronze crafts. Apart from humans, inspiration too from animals. This mythical beast is the biggest animal-inspired sculpture from Sanxingdui. The man perching atop represents the reign of human over nature. These 120 Sanxingdui treasures will be loaned to the Hong Kong Palace Museum late September for a 4-month exhibition. Jacqueline, TVB News.
That's the news. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.